Welcome to Agent from Within, the podcast that helps agents get out of their own way, listens to regular agent stories, not just all the top producers. Yes, we'll have top producers, but it's also a fully designed coaching system built here for you to get coaching, be inspired, be connected, but most of all, get yourself out of your own way. There's a whole lot more than just making a ton of money as an agent. If you don't know how to build a business to serve your life, you're gonna run around with your chasing your tail, feast and famine. Guess what, guys? Let's build a business with purpose. Agent from Within is here to serve. Cheers. I'm gonna bring Ryan in, Mr. Ryan Lee. Hey, buddy.
How's it going?
Good to see you, man. Good to see you. I was thinking, who's gonna get me at the last one? Am I gonna be fired up? Am I going to be burnt out or what? But I think we're going good. It's nice to see it. Nice to see a recognizable face too, Ryan. It's good.
And of course,
thanks for jumping on, buddy.
And of course, the older jersey just for you, buddy.
That's right. I saw Zach Cassian give you a shout out. I thought that was so cool, man.
Yeah,
that was Edmonton
awesome.
owner Zach Cassian gives Ryan Lee an Instagram video. That was cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was such class, man. So why don't you introduce yourself, Brian, and just say how long you've been in the business, where you're at, where you live, what's going on.
Real estate agent, 4 years here in Edmonton, same city as you are. We're actually enjoying beautiful warm weather, which is awesome. Usually it's way colder than this.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just got a little bit of a shocker a couple of days ago with the whole COVID shutdown. So we're going into a deeper shutdown, so it's going to be
real deal, man. Real deal. Right over Christmas, can't have social gatherings. It's psychologically wearing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it sucks. So
it sucks.
Grinding it. I mean, it's going to be something that's gonna. It's just a reality check. It's not going to go away for a while. It's going to be dragging on to at least 2021. Right?
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Definitely plays a part in that. So Ryan. So here's I got your questionnaire, but I just think it's cool. We've known each other for a while now, man. I remember was the first thing you came to that I did wasn't that on that wilderness center I did? Was it a Myers-Briggs training I did or no? Where was it? When did we first connect? How do I know you?
I don't know. I know you. I think we just did the whole typical add everyone on Facebook thing, like most realtors do,
Yeah.
and I actually back checked this question. So how I met you was it was on Facebook, and I was and it was basically my broker was like, "Well, just go out there and find training." That was their answer. It's like, "Go find training."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Okay, Google realtor, coach training," and then I saw your name. It was actually I originally thought you were still with Rolla Page. That's how I remember now, because that's the first brokerage I was at.
Okay, gotcha.
Then you were running the training at the Strathcona there, and did that.
You've done a few things.
Yep, hockey's a big one.
That's right. That was you did that charity event. That was awesome. You and
Rob
Mr.
Farm.
Mr. Rob Corno, Good Real Estate. Shout out Good Real Estate Group. Little Rob Corno, good human being. But you guys did a charity event. We did you united all these competitive real estate agents into one room and played some hockey. And I thought, honestly, man, that was really cool. You have a huge heart for that. Hey, like why do those things, Ryan? Like why do those charity things?
It's a long story, but it basically boils down to the point where I was probably in year 2.5 as a realtor, and then quickly realized that the public doesn't really like us very much. Us realtors in general, they just generalize us as just these crazy car salesmen that make lots of money, flex their BMWs at people. Like, look what I made without a degree. And I thought I was like, if this is how the public's going to view us from here on out, like, you got to do something to, fix the image.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you can tell, like, I'm a huge UFC fan. It's basically kind of a mission like what Dana White was back in 2005, where you want to change perception of MMA fighters, not just a bunch of bar fighters, like they're actually athletes, they're family people, create a reality show, blah, blah, blah.
Interesting.
Also 4 billion now. So yeah,
I didn't know that about you. I didn't know that about you, Ryan. That's really cool. I have a similar mission. That's why it's cool. I'm going to change
Mhm.
the industry to think about using real estate to build a life that you want to live versus chasing meaningless awards. And that is, it's like chasing the money. That's the side effect of everyone chasing these awards that are celebrated on gross revenue. They're not even real awards that are celebrated on real profit or customer service or actual awards. That's why I say fake awards, because not that they're meaningless, because the award says nothing about real success. It's like if you spend $1 million and you actually make $1 million, you made zero, but you're celebrated in this business as a god. And so other agents think you're doing amazing and everyone else thinks you're doing amazing, but you're broke. And so the problem is everyone is celebrating the wrong thing. If we celebrated other things, the industry would change. And so I don't like that feeling. And I see what you mean as well. I think the image is changing a little bit. There's a lot of good agents out there doing good things, but yeah, I get what you're saying. There's this used car salesman, like, you're out to make a commission on me. These objections you get, you can see, because when someone gives you an objection, like, you're just doing this for the money, that's not because of you. That's because of the last 5 or 6 agents they dealt with. And the promises aren't coming through and stuff like that. So I love that you're on that mission, man. It's a very similar mission, is to change it so it's actually a bunch of amazing people building a beautiful life with real estate versus just celebrating that money. It's a weird thing. Awards on gross revenue create a different culture in a business. That's very much old school sales motivation. Like if you were in insurance sales, boiler room money, it's like ring the bell, you made that money. It's just I feel like that stuff's got to get going out of the industry, to be honest, Ryan.
It is, especially if you want to start passing down your business to the next generation, right? They're going to have a face a bigger issue now with the social media. It's like, oh, this guy's just traveling. He has a BMW. Like, I don't really want to buy a house from this guy because all he's going to do is just, like, next day he's going to start flexing his cash on Instagram or whatever.
And even if it's not true, it's just that there's a perception, right?
Yeah,
100%. So you've had quite a journey, Ryan. In your 4 years, you've got some stories, man. So let's hear some of these stories. Let's get people to understand what your journey was like. So when you started, right? Did you start on your own or on a team?
I started on my own.
Yeah.
Kind of like your typical real estate agent type of start, where just like, I'm gonna make lots of money. Basically, backstory: I was a personal trainer.
Okay.
And I was working at LA Fitness with Scott Holiday, one of our buddies.
Yeah.
And there's one day I'm training. I'm just like, I cannot do this when I'm 40. And I just look at some of the old trainers. I'm like, I don't want to be like the 50-year-old still doing this. Like, this is insane. And at that time, and there's a movie called Pain and Gain by The Rock.
I never saw it. It's on my list.
And there was a scene that really hit me hard, where it was Mark Wahlberg was saying, like, do I really want to be wearing sweatpants for the next 20 years for the rest of my life? And I was like, I'm just looking at myself like, that's me. And then for a while, I couldn't really figure out what direction I really wanted to go, because I didn't want to do that, right? So I was like, looking at the U of A, I'm like, oh, do I want to do it in 4 to 5 years plus the tuition, plus, like, is my heart really into it? So at the time, I was actually training a realtor. And he's like, well, try doing this. You don't need a degree. It'll be done in no time. And then he made everything sound super easy. Bro, you just open the door.
Who was it? Was it a broker or was it another agent?
Another agent.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, bro. You just open the door, you put a few signs in, get some cash. I'm like, oh, this is a great job. Sure, absolutely.
Another preconceived idea that we need to tear down. We need to tell them it's the hardest business in the entire world to start, but when you get going, it has a lot of potential. That's more of a realistic view. We have this bad misconception that you open doors, make some money. Yeah, but no.
No. Like, that's probably the worst mindset you could possibly have going in, especially when you're younger. Like, okay, here's a home here in I don't know, Keswick, 1.2 million. Buy it.
Why don't you buy it? Yeah.
Why not?
So you went through this, you learned the lesson, new agent expectations, you got your license, you started in the game, and then you realized, holy crap, this might be a little bit different than what you thought.
Yes. Part of it, well, honestly, now that I'm a little older, most of it falls on my shoulders at the end of the day as an independent contractor agent. Part of it is, the course. It doesn't teach you really anything
Yeah.
on how to be an agent. I mean, like zero. I didn't know what a lead was. I don't know, what's your chances of, making a sale on a web lead? Like, they're pretty low. They're like single digits. I didn't know that. I thought they were great leads. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, and honestly, I think you discussed this on quite a few of your podcasts and shows. Like, brokerage is just like, here's a generic formula, follow it, get your business cards, go out there, plaster your face on everything, and there you go. And I kind of did that to a degree until you realize, like, I'm looking to my balance sheet, like, this is not good,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
no return, no return, no return. Like, and it's starting to get stressful after, like, month 4 or 5. Like, well, the income is not catching up to what I'm spending. It's like, I need to make a change quick.
You're probably not even. The problem is when you're behind, and you get a $5,000 check. Technically, you need to take at least 25 or 2,000 and put it toward taxes. But when you got no money, you got to use it, and that's that cycle that a lot of agents get into, because then it's like, oh shit, taxes. Now you're behind on that. Plus, you're not making, like, it's it's actually very normal. No one's talking about it.
Oh, they just kind of left me out there and, like, good luck, Ryan. So that's how it was.
Yeah.
And then once I kind of, like, paid off, like, brokerage fees and all that, like, off to the next brokerage. Then I joined the team.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was more like trying to get more experience more than anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's and joining a team sometimes is one of the best hacks for a new agent, because what you learn, even if it doesn't make you a ton of money, even if it's a wrong team, you're gonna learn something. You're gonna learn something. And I'm not opposed to that at all. I definitely think interview the team and understand. I think there's not much actual reality of what real estate is. So I think a lot of new agents are getting left in the high and dry to figure things out themselves when they literally don't know what to do. So you just hope to find the right spot. You know what I mean? And I understand that. So you joined the team, and how was that?
No, it was okay. I got a few sales under my belt, which is great, and I learned a lot of systems.
Yeah.
So it was that. As you said, like, you don't make as much money as you can as a single agent. So after a while, I'm like, you know what, I kind of have an idea of what I wanted to do, and they didn't want to follow the direction I wanted to go through. So yeah, it's time to be a sole agent. So I got it. Unfortunately, COVID kind of hit, so kind of slow things down, but it is what it is.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What has the real estate career given you?
Sorry, say again.
What has your real estate career so far given you?
It's giving me a different outlook of life. It's something that new agents should probably take into consideration. It's not a job; it's a business, and you have to treat it as a business. It's not your conventional clock in, clock out type of thing. You don't get a guaranteed paycheck. You have a great appreciation for people in sales. Great appreciation for other people as well. It's not as easy as it seems. Like, the people who are successful in real estate are like, you know what, they have to work really hard at it. It's not like open doors and somehow, like, so.
Yeah,
it's not that easy.
So what does a real estate career cost you?
Financially.
Could be anything. I'm thinking more of the human side.
On the human side, well, there was quite a bit of burnout. I don't see my parents as much, hang with my friends as much, but I think that's also like the cost of being a little bit older. People get married and starting their own family and doing their own thing. But I mean, it's also giving me a lot of positives too. Like, what, I get to do things on somewhat of a flexible schedule, and then go to, like, do groceries during, like, this slower times, and go to the bank. This is great. I don't have to go to rush hour. It's awesome.
Yeah, so that's why most people do it, for that sense of freedom, right? For sure. So where are you at right now? So if I was to say, what's your biggest challenge right now, Ryan?
Oh, biggest challenge right now is just resetting my mindset to being like a sole agent, because there is no one else helping you. It's all on you now. At the same time, you get all the rewards now. So there's no one else there to keep you accountable. It's all you.
And how's that been?
Oh, it's been good. It's been good, because at least I can do things under my style.
What is your
my
style?
way. I'm a quirky individual. I am who I am. I think one of the big things I could give away on this podcast is just be yourself. A lot of brokers just like, all right, go out there, suit and tie, do this, do the cards, be like, always be closing. That was a always be
That's old.
believing.
That's old. That's very old school sales training. That's very, very becoming more expired as every single day goes forward. Always be closing. How about always be connecting? Let's change the game. Always be connecting.
Absolutely.
Let's make
Always
some
be
real
connected.
connection. Why don't we add value to people? Then they're going to lean in. Always be closing is a very selfish focused model where it's like, I need to be closing you. Like, who the fuck would close me? Like, you have to close me. Why don't you just confirm with me? Like, there's so many, like, it's just times are changing, man. Always be closing. I have not heard that since 1980 sales training. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Always be closing. That is like 1970s, 80s sales training. And I'm like, whoa, that is a blast from the past, dude. That is not even how we do it. It's so expired. So I'm glad that you've rejected that idea, because I don't think that's human. It's very much how many sales I can get, always be closing, get my numbers up. It's not human. And this is a relationship business. People say relationship, but not if they're saying always be closing, then they're not relationship. Like, it's contradiction.
Once you start to practice, in your office or your home, it's just like, I don't know. I don't even want to sell this guy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to buy a home for myself at times. Like, this is terrible. Like,
yeah, man, no way. You got to be, imagine just being, what if you connect with someone that really likes you and then you go help them? Welcome to a great business. Like,
your leads to connect with too.
And then, see, my model is, because I hate lead gen. I hate all that stuff. I have lead gen in my business. I think it plays a part, but we're very aware of what part it plays. It's out of 133 deals last year, maybe there was 15 or 18. That's what lead gen does. It's kind of filler work. It also gets, it gives you, it definitely business. We haven't built our team like that at all. We build our team like this: get a client, connect with them at an emotional level. You perform really well, but then connect to the emotional level with either a gift or a thoughtful act or something. Then you have one mission, is to keep them for the rest of your life. And that's going to take thoughtfulness. It's going to keep connection. You're going to be able to help them. Hopefully you help them way more than they would ever expect. And then we put in the birthday system. We keep them forever, giving them birthday gifts. And at the end of the day, they always refer us. So get the client, blow their mind, and let them refer you like crazy. So it's been a couple of years since I've been in the game, Ryan. And honestly, I still have a constant flow of referrals coming in. I give to my team. That's the best lead gen I've ever made in my life. So I think it is true, man. When you feel that feeling where it doesn't align, you got to run, because it's probably cost you years in some level of, and that's our process, right? Like, we got to learn, but it's like that feeling of like when you're feeling your gut and you're like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't align. Like, love the fact that you're starting to think for yourself, man. And then the win is going to be on your terms, on your style. And I think that just takes a while to get to that place. They got who you are got Cassian to send you a message. Like, you're obviously magnetic in some level. Like, not everybody else gets that notice. There's a magnetic energy to get that. And I think it's sometimes that going through your life where it's like you've had so many different people tell you what to do. It's like the only thing that matters is what you think, Ryan. And I think if you can double down on that, you've already attracted Cassian. Why can't you attract a client? Like, it's just who you are. Your style is going to show up. You just got to find your tribe, dude. And I know that's kind of where you're at, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, like I never came from a sales background as well, so it was quite a learning experience.
For sure.
It's usually just like go in there, you train, make the program, train again, continues to train, keep doing this until like the day's over. Yeah. So I wasn't really get too used to it. So it's a learning process as well.
Man. You're super tenacious, man. You're always trying to figure it out, and you're learning. You've gone to so many of my different things too. It's awesome. I'm really happy when I saw what you're doing, man. Super pumped about it, and I think that's what it is. So I would love to be able to support you and help you in any way I possibly could. I just would love to see you successful and grow and get what you want. I really do. It feels like I've known you for a while, Ryan. We've been in the same city, in the same worlds, crossing our paths for so long. So you got a fan right here. I'm rooting for you for sure, man. Now, if you could
If you could give any new agents some advice, what would you say?
Find a mentor. That's for one.
Yeah.
Someone that you vibe with. Don't just like grab anyone. Oh, this guy's been for 30 years. Like, first off, if you're 30 and he's done this for 30 years, guess what? You're gonna have a serious disconnect. You're gonna, she's someone that like as Ben says, it's like, you gotta find someone in your own tribe, someone that you can connect with.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't have that, your styles are gonna clash. It's not gonna be good for you. I think another big one is just like get your finances straight as well. Like once you get your license, your last exam sent to you, your results, you still have a year to find a broker like that. Interview other brokerages. I think that's another big thing that you can kind of elect. It's like, let's just use the one across the street. No, so don't do that.
Let's ask this question. I haven't asked anyone this question yet. Tell me, so you say interview brokerages, okay? So this is a huge question online and all over my world. Anyone that's new, they say, I'm changing brokerages. It's a constant happening because people are trying to solve their problem externally when usually it's an internal problem. But anyways, why don't you say let's help these people. How do you choose a brokerage, Ryan? So you got a new guy coming out of the gate, right? And you're like, make sure you interview. I hear that a lot. Make sure you interview. But what does that mean? What do they say? What are they looking for, Ryan? I've got my 2 bits, but I absolutely want to hear what you have to say. I know you've gone through a few brokerages. You've been on a team. You've been in, and you've got some authority in this because you have your own experience of going to a few brokerages. So when you say that advice, I'm like, oh, interesting. How do you choose a brokerage then?
First off, during the interview, if they're the ones talking the most, it's probably a problem. You need to ask them questions all the time. They need to be constantly on you. It's not like, as I said previously, this is not like a job interview. You're giving them money. Just to be clear, you are paying brokerage fees no matter where you're going, right? So you got to be very selective of what value do they bring? Like, are you someone who's just like has no sales? Like, we're gonna go through the extensive training program with myself personally as a brokerage or something like that. What kind of, if their fee structures work well for you. Location honestly shouldn't really matter at this point. 2020, we're all getting Zoom calls and stuff like this anyway, so that shouldn't be a big issue. But what kind of value, conveyancing, are they going to put you with like a mentor who's like dedicated? Like,
because Ryan, you know what happens, right? Here, I'll be the broker. So Ryan, we've got some of the most extensive training. We've got the most extensive training. We've got some of the biggest agents in our office. There's gonna be a lot of people you can talk to, and we've got one of the strongest brands. So that's literally, I could literally go talk to 10 people. Ultimately, it's the same thing. So how do you navigate that? I've got the best training. I've got a good brand. We've got great agents. It's literally, we're more of a culture. We're like a family. Like these are the pitches from brokerages. Oh, yeah. It's either training or they got the biggest agents. It's usually the two, but I'm running into agents North America wide that say they never got training. How can every person I talk to, almost everyone, say there's no training when every brokerage says there's tons of training? What's the disconnect?
They're just here to, get you to join, basically.
Like there can't be no training. It must be the agent or the brokerage. Which is it? Or both? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I see this disconnect. Either the agent's not taking advantage of the training or the brokerage's training is not really training, or maybe I don't know. It's one of those things I always wonder about. And you've gone through a few brokerages. Like, was it similar for you on most of them?
Yeah, unfortunately. it's on it. It gets to the point where, like, that's why I said, like, you really should be doing a ton of interviews. Like, eventually, like, after, like, interview 6 or 7, like, same thing over and over again. You got this. And then they usually have, like, a brochure somewhere. Here's a brochure of, like, what we have. We're number one. We won this award. We won this. We won that. I'm your broker. Here's the associate broker, yada, yada. It's so generic. I don't know.
See, this is why I'm loving this conversation, because someone listening, you're going to seriously help them. So how do you choose then? How do you choose? So there's a few ways, right? Money, training.
Sure. Yep.
So see what I mean? Like there's fees, there's training, like
Brand
what makes
recognition would be a bit.
brand recognition. You see what I mean? Like how does a new guy say, I love beating this up a little bit because it's like, how do you choose?
You got to ask the hardest question to the broker. What is your success rate in this brokerage? What's your dropout rate?
Interesting question. So how many people quit in his brokerage or her brokerage?
Basically, you just take like an ambiguous point of time and just like, so let's just say 2019. Like, how many people from 2019 are still here
From
right.
their brokerage? How many people left? Either left. Wow.
Yeah.
Ryan, I'm so thankful you said that. That is a amazing question. I knew you had experience in there. It's like nobody would ask that. We now have this on record, on live, and it'll be on our show, and it's going to help people because how many people left last year?
How many people left last year? And then you can ask it from like 1 year and a 5 year. Like who's your 5-year veterans? Who's your 10-year veterans?
Your brokerage.
Yeah. How many people are your 5 years? Your 10 years, right?
Would you talk to other agents then as well?
You should. Definitely. If they're willing to give up, 15, 20 minutes at a time, do it.
I know why for sure. Yeah, no, it's one of those topics I feel like creating content on, just because it's a question that gets asked on an ongoing basis. It's a new agent struggle. It fits with our theme today. And you have definitely walked through that journey. And so that's really cool. Really cool. So that's awesome. And so let me ask you something. You come on the show today. Why come on the show? Why come on, Ryan? I'm just curious.
Because of you, Ben. Because of you.
Because of me.
Because of you.
So
just
why is that?
Personality, connection, honestly, right? I think it's something that actually benefits both of us, which is awesome.
Totally,
helps the show, helps my marketing. It's fun.
100%. I'm going to package these things. My goal is that I'm going to package these things. You can use it. People can get to know you. And I'm literally, it's an expense, right? I'm going to be fully edited, all this stuff. At the end of the day, the only mission for me is that if I can make an impact, at the end of the day, I'm going to win, and it's not why I'm doing it. It really isn't. I really have a mission, just very similar to you. You have some purpose of like, could we rebrand this industry is kind of what you're talking about into a very positive experience. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if we can change it, but I know there's evolution. And I know that it's going to take people like you to do that. Like you did that charity event. Amazing. So the only thing is you got to make money. So if you're just doing the charity events, it's the only thing I always think about too, is the guys that are doing these mission work and even helping, even people that build the brokerage, do these like poker tournaments and all this. I always wondered, like, are they making money? Because I know what goes into these things. So that's the one thing that some people that have a really big heart, sometimes I worry about them because there's a business that has to be run. You know what I mean? Like still a business that needs to be run. So what happens is a lot of people that love the charity side of things usually don't have much, because it takes so much time. So that's the one thing I would encourage you to keep going, but just always have that critical thinking where it's like, you know what? I got to take care of myself first, or I can't take care of others. And that sometimes is you got to grind those calls, you got to do the deals, and that's part of the business, right? Like you just got to get it done because you got a big heart, man. Of what you're doing is awesome. I love that you're doing those things, but sometimes I worry. Not just you. There's a lot of people out there. I know a lot of really good human beings that you can have it both, but you got to realize taking care of Ryan first is more important than anything else. Because you're the one that's going to give your heart away, and change the game and help your clients. But if you're not in top good shape and your business needs to be focused on. So that's one thing. And I don't just tell you that. I think other people need to hear that.
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely, for sure.
We're helping all these other places, but is our house in order in a way, right? Like is our own business in order? Like it's almost like I remember seeing a guy one time. His wife was dementia, and I saw him at the hospital, and he was feeding time, and he was feeding everyone else's. He was helping the whole hospital out. The guy, and his wife was last, and it was so weird to me because he was there doing such a great thing, feeding all these other people, that all these dementia people and all this, and there's his own wife just sitting there, and so it was really weird. So sometimes I wonder if we help people, is it really helping people, or is it something that I do to make myself feel better. And what happens is when we're helping people, and that's why I say take care of yourself first. Just take care of your own world first. Always, always, always. And then you got the ability, you could easily help everyone. But when you've got lots of money coming in, Ryan, you got deals coming in, you're in a good place. And that's so important, right? That's like doing the stuff that we don't like to do in the business. But I think a lot of times we lose ourselves in helping, even though I want to help. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Like, I'm not crazy. Like, I know that, at the end of the day, it's still a business. It still has to, the world still runs on money. But, I know for a fact I'm going in the right direction, and it's trending upwards, in spite of the current situation here in the world, really. So
you're trustworthy. You're a good guy, hardworking son of a gun. You've got experience in real estate, and you got a heart of gold. I think anybody that uses you as an agent is lucky. I think like no many agents out there that you can't trust, that might not be servicing. So you're already beating the game. You just got to keep leaning in, and that's the thing. And I agree. You are trending in the right way, man. And I've seen it. So I'm not just saying that. I've been around for a while now in the same city, so that's pretty awesome, man. Is there anything else you want to add to this day, to this? This is literally signing off on the whole thing almost. So is there anything else you want to say? Or last guy, man, I think that's just 5 hours.
Wow.
You saved the best for last, right?
Of course. No, just be yourself, honestly. Stay positive. It's everyone. I think I see it on an Instagram post, but everyone thinks every success is always just going to be this way. But people don't realize it's always going to be like this, like horrible mind bender at the whim, and you suddenly get a certain goal. Before you reach up here, you're crashing back down and corkscrewing everywhere. It's like life. Like you have to go through. Like the people who are successful in life, they go through a lot of downfalls, and it's all about the positive mindset. And like rejection can destroy a realtor, but success can also destroy a realtor as well. Mm-hmm. So it's like rejection, like, man, I don't think I'm ready for this. This industry isn't for me. At the same time, you're like, yo, look, I sold Brian Smith's house. Boom, I'm success free. Whatever. I don't have to work hard anymore. So I can also destroy someone as well. So keep moving forward. That's all I gotta say.
100%, man. Nice way to wrap it up. Thanks so much, Ryan. I appreciate you hanging out with me. And hopefully you have an amazing day and get super lucky finishing this year, man.
All right. Thank you so much.
Cheers, man. We'll see ya.